Good afternoon, folks, and a very warm, sort of chilly-ish welcome, if you like. I say a warm welcome because it's meant from the heart and it's cold. The heart isn't, the weather is horrible. Anyway, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to do a bit of a sort of a review on this little animal. And this is the, just put my glasses on. This is the Hantec 6022BE digital storage USB oscilloscope, and it's the bandwidth is 20 megahertz and the sample rate is 48 megacycles per second. So what we'll do, we'll turn the other unit on here because we're going to need the let's just set this signal generator up. I think that's it. Yeah. And no. Yeah. If things wouldn't move about, it could be doing a bit more weight in this signal generator. I might glue a bit of metal to the bottom of it or something inside, do something with it, because it's a bit light. Turn the amplitude down to about 3 volts for that channel. Now for the next channel, turn that down to 1000 kilocycles tone, and turn the voltage down to 3, the same. There we go. Right, so basically what we've got here, it's the, as I say, it's the Hantec it's the Hantec 6022BE 20 megahertz with a scope, with a digital storage scope with a sample rate of 48 megacycles per second. Now, I'm doing this mainly because we nearly tested its drop. We nearly did a drop test on it then. It is USB. Let's unplug that USB stick. I don't need that in. I only put that in because I needed to install the software from it because I've lost the disc. Well, I've not lost it. It's sort of in here, but mislaid. Right. So basically, I'm really doing this. I'm doing this really for Jay over at Jay's Vintage Junk, because we was talking about this the other day, and I can talk while I get set up. We was talking about it the other day, and I said that I should really do a review on it, and you know, let's zoom in. I said I should really do a review on it, which, yeah, is fair enough. I should do that. Dave Jones from what's his name, EV blog, he did it, but you can't really. But the problem with Dave is, you know, unless it costs thousands of pounds, it's a toy. And this, I gave £50 for this, and I think £50 for a, let's get that straight as I can, there we go. I think £50 for a digital storage scope, USB scope, I think that's good value for money. I really do. It's going to be tricky to do this, but you've got your controls here for you know, for changing all your parameters in here, and you've got stuff along here for changing. I'm not going to be messing with all that. But what I've done, I've got my signal generator, both channels of it, set up to put in a 1000 kilohertz tone on both channels, and the leads you get, getting back to it, the leads that you get with this are actually not bad either. One of mine got mangled up because I trod on it, but as long as you don't tread on them, then, you know, I say it got mangled up, I was able to straighten it. But, you know, the leads, the leads that come with this are very good. I'll just give you a quick look at the leads. I'll just zoom back out and I'll give you a look at the leads. Now, the leads that come with it are not bad. They've got little adjusters in there so that you can actually set it up to what it should to adjust it. I don't fully understand that, but they don't seem to do nothing when you turn them, but they're there for a reason. You've got your usual 1K and I think it's 10K switch. Let me just put my glasses on, double check that, make sure I get things right. Yeah, X1 and times 10 switches. The plug, the BNC, obviously, they're not bad, they're pretty good made. You get your little things so you can clip onto things, and you can pull them off to you know, to dig in if you like. Oh, it was this end that got mangled up. Yeah, I remember now, it was that end, not the other. It was this end there with the red connector on it that got mangled up. Anyway, so what we'll do, we'll connect the leads to the scope, and this is the scope here, and I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I think these are good value for money. You know, disregarding what Dave Jones, I'm not going to say nothing against Dave Jones, I don't know him, but I don't watch his channel because it's not my kind. But I did see him do a review on this particular, or a very similar item to this. I think it was this model he did. Anyway, what we'll do, we'll connect the signal generator up. And we'll sort that out in a minute. Get the other one on. There you dopey fucker, you plugged it on the wrong one. Not that'll make a difference, ground's ground. That's it, that's channel 1 sorted out. Now where's the other lead for channel 2? There it is. Let's clip on. Channel 2. There we go. We've got two nice even traces there. And if I press, you can actually adjust all this, but there is actually, if I get my glasses on, I'll zoom in now. I'll zoom in so we can see what, hopefully see what I'm doing. There we go. Don't worry about the noise on it. There is a fair amount of noise on them, but you know, there's a button here which is marked auto, which is this one here, and you just press that. There we go. And that sets it to where it thinks it needs to be, which is about right. And you can adjust that by adjusting, by making adjustments here. around this with these controls here just by moving your mouse around. I'm not going to fanny around with all that. And if I adjust the, what do you call it? That's the wrong button. You right? No, I ain't either. Come on, you fucker. See, it's hard to press the buttons on this because it moves. It's hard to see what you're doing. But as you can see, we're on, you know, we want to be 1 there. I know we want to be 3 there. And that's now changing. That's now changing the top channel, as you can see, and you get a lovely nice clean trace from it as far as I'm concerned. And both channels are even, and you can even there we go. We're on there, correct? That's both channels correct. I've only adjusted the one because both channels do the same. You can do certain things like you can change. You know, like you can mess with the display. I think you can change. You know, you can change the type of display, whether you get vectors or dots. So let's have a quick play. Type. Oops. This is why I don't really want to do a lot of. I mean, you can use the F keys. So if you go for dots, we'll go for vectors because I think it's on dots now. No, that must have been on vectors. Well, we could use F2 and F3, so if we go F2, yeah, don't make much of a difference. Hang on. Try again. Oh, that's what it does. It changes the line, it changes the, whether it's vector, it changes the, it either turns the trace into dots or turns it into straight lines, which they call vectors, as you can see. I take it you can see that clear enough. But, I mean, Dave actually describes these things as toys, and they're not. You know, they're not, you know, they're a £50 item. I mean, I don't know what that is in dollars, but they're a £50 item. And as far as I'm concerned, an electronic toy for £50 is ridiculous. You know, they're definitely not a toy. I think they're actually quite a good. I actually think they're quite a good. I'm just showing you a sine wave on here, and that's all I really need to show you. But we can, you know, we've got certain. I keep thinking I can touch the screen, and I don't know why. But you can change the trigger channel. You know, whether you have it on, whether you have it trigger. You know, you can either change the mode, the sweep, source, or slope. And You know, you can have it on normal. You can have it on normal. You can have it on auto, normal, or single. But I think you can see all that, can't you? No, you can't really. But you know, you can see the main thing. And you can have the trigger channel as channel 1 or channel 2. You can't have it as both. It is either one or the other. So you're now with trigger channels 2. But you know, I prefer to just use it on its default settings, because that's all you really need, you know. And you can actually record your traces and then play them back, but you know, like a snapshot, which I haven't messed with yet, but you can do all that sort of stuff. And I just think, to be honest with you, I just think for the money, you know, I think they're a good investment, I really do. And I don't regret buying mine. I don't use it that often, but it's there if I need to. I mean, I've got my LG scope up here. I tend to use that generally because I tend to have the bench cluttered and don't have enough room to put the laptop on a lot of the times. And a lot of the times I don't have a laptop because all the broken laptops I get, I don't attempt to mend them. They go to Jay, and I've got this one because it came free from a friend. I did 2 laptops for him that were within my scope of repair. It was mainly software issues that they had. I did them for him, and in exchange he gave me this. And so a big thanks to Tyrone there, who I've known since 1978, believe it or not. Anyway, that's where that came from. But Jay ends up with all my broken computer stuff because I don't, you know, and I normally get something tasty off him for it. So something that I'd rather mess with. Anyway, and that's it. That's the Handtech. There's not really much more I can say about it, you know, but you know, you can, you know, you can. The dog hairs all over my computer. I don't know why, but this is awkward operating this like this. Right, so if we go to this blue control here. That should let us control. This is awkward. There we go. We can just adjust the traces. And if you get out of your depth and you can't remember where you were and you want to be back to where you were, all you have to do is click auto. And it puts you back. And it's a really simple, you've got, what do you call it here, you've got play. I'm not sure what that does, I've never used it. Oh, it's run. That must be to, oh yeah, that's to run, and then you can pause, which stops it there. It stops the trace there. And as you can see, there's nothing moving now. Now if we go back to play, there we go. So, you know, you can. So if you're working on something and you want to do a bit of reading up on it while you've got the signal on, but you don't want the device connected. You know, if you're not sure, you don't want the device connected, you can just pause it. You can pause it, and then you can turn the signal source off that you've got running. And you can turn the signal source off that you got running, and you can, you know, go and look at your manual or whatever, and then come back. You know, you can turn off whatever. You know, if you're working on an amp, and you think there might be a problem somewhere, you can take the measurement, turn the amp off, because you can pause it, turn the amp off, and then when you come back to it, you know, you can look in your manual and see whether that wave's right, whether that curve's right, see whether the trace matches, and you know, and that's it. Very, very simple to use. Very, very, I think, good value for money. I have used it a couple of times. Not used it in a video, I don't think, but have used it a couple of times. I need to really make more space for the laptop so that I can actually have, so I can actually use this instrument a bit more. But I tend to use, like I say, I tend to use the LG. You know, because the laptop's not always available. Like I say, I've only got this laptop because it was given to me. And you know, we're on maximise screen there, which is good. You can minimise it. You know, you can obviously, you know, I'm not going to tell you how to suck eggs, but you can make the screen. Obviously, you can do that, so you can work within what's happening. Work around your scope. But I tend to generally, if I'm working on a machine, if I'm working on something, I generally have it full anyway, so I can see it better. And if I need to make any adjustments, I can make them easier. So I generally run it at full screen. And you know, we're still on pause there, aren't we? If we go back to play, because we want to switch our circuit back on. Because we've just switched our circuit back on that we're working on. Now we want to check the trace again. maybe did you see catch up with it then? Both lines did a sort of shimmer, just catching up with it, I think. I know I coughed, but I can't see that having anything to do with it. No, I wouldn't have thought so. There's no audio there, apart from the tone that's coming out of the generator and going into the scope. But I think for a low priced budget scope, and certainly for the beginner, I think that this is a worthwhile, ideal purchase. And that's really all I've got to say on it. And you know, and like I mentioned to Jay the other day, I should really, you know, I was thinking of doing a review on this item, and he said, yeah, do that, you know, you should. So that's why I've done the review. But it's mainly aimed at Jay because he's thinking about one, and this might give him a bit of an insight as to, you know, what they're like. I mean, you know, I think, I think, like I've already said, and I can't reiterate enough, I think for the money, it's a good, I think it's a bargain for the money. I mean, this cost me 50 quid. Well, I think it was 40, about 48, 47. Around it, or by the time you've paid your postage, you know, it was about 50 quid. And, you know, you get the disc, you get the 2 leads. Oh, that's me moving the leads. They are. That was me moving the leads. That's it. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's me moving the lead, just jiggling the lead. That's it. We're all right. Yeah, I didn't have it tight. Didn't have it fully tightened. Anyway, but I think at the end of the day, if you're going to get a digital storage scope for the first time, then I think this is a good bargain. You know, I've seen people using them. What's his name uses one? Oh, I can't remember his name. X-Ray Tony or something. he uses one. He repairs a lot of amplifiers. He works in the X-ray business, and he uses one for quick and convenience. You know, so if it's good enough for Tony, it's good enough for me, I'm afraid. And you know, that's it. There's not really much more I can say on it. All I can say is thank you. Zoom back out. Thank you very much for watching. And my picture's gone a funny colour because I've changed, because I've been zoomed into that for so long. The white balance has gone out. But like I say, thank you very much for watching, and there'll be more to come later. And I just hope you enjoyed and got something out of this video. Cheers for now, folks. Catch you later. Oh no, it's not the leads, it's just done it again. It's me. Not me, sorry, it's must be just a refresh rate of the scope. But like I say, you know, if I turn the generator off, there we go. We're back to our, and they don't look all discoloured like that if I zoom in. I mean, that looks horrible, that's just my camera. But if I zoom back in, there we are. You got a red line and a green line, and you know, I just think to be perfectly honest, that's it, fully zoomed in. To be perfectly honest, I just think they're great. Anyway, folks, I shall zoom back out, and thank you all so much for watching. I hope you got something, like I say, out of this, and there's more to come later. I've got a few jobs in the pipeline, so there will be some video. I know I've been a bit short on videos at the moment, but I've got some jobs in the pipeline, so you know, we'll be looking at those, and I shall catch you all later. And like I say, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now, folks.